are live, back for episode 7, the penultimate episode of our Mechwarrior Destiny actual play series. Season 1, at least. How's everybody feeling today? It's good to see you again. It's been a couple weeks.
Yes.
Yep.
Good to be back.
Good to be back. I'm tired. I apologize for all the constant yawning tonight. Ahead of time.
Dang it.
Well, glad you're able to make it. Any particular... well, you know, we should go around and introduce ourselves, because some people, this might be the first time they're checking in on the show. My name is Clifton, also known as Mr. Johnson of the Arcology Podcast. I am one of the founding members of the Shadowcasters Network, and I am the game master of this campaign. Yes, that's the word for it. Campaign, that's what we'll call it.
Yes.
Joining me is Trev Farlander as Ian Warden. Welcome, Trev.
Hi. Hello.
Cade playing John Texas Crow. Welcome, Cade.
Howdy.
And Ava Rogers playing Finn.
Hello.
So it's been an eventful campaign so far. 6 episodes. Why don't we start with a little bit of a recap? I'll jump in with the quick fast forward. We are on a planet far in the periphery that is ruled by a very corrupt bandit lord who calls himself the Baron. There's a small mining town that would be prosperous if not for the depredations of the dystopian dictatorship. There we go. Get some lovely alliteration there. And a plucky team of mech warriors has gotten together to sneak into the base of the pirates who were garrisoning their town of Medgar's Folly. Found some mechs to steal, but also uncovered a Star League base hidden deeper within the pirates' base. And you've been able to fend off attacks from the bandits and actually seize the place with the mechs that you found there, including Trav Farlander, or rather Ian Warden found a rather shiny new Marauder from the Star League era that was stashed there. Finn was able to strap into her Locust that she'd been working on and pining over all these years, and John Texas Crow ended up with a special Phoenix Hawk.
Right.
These mechs have served them well, and they fought off the counterattack meant to seize the base, recovering a fair amount of salvage, including a Valkyrie mech, and a very powerful but incredibly slow tank. And I'll leave the rest of the recap to y'all. Who wants to take the lead on the rest of it?
I nominate Trav.
All right, Trev, you've been volunteered.
Voluntold. Gotcha. We have been spending the last couple of weeks, I think it is, doing a lot of wheeling and dealing, trying to do everything we can to get the base more operational. It's more than 3 people's work. It's actually more than the entire town's work that we can manage so far. But we've made some trades, we've made some offers, we've made some inroads into making the base more functional. The geothermal tap that would serve probably the energy needs for the entire region, if we can get it running, is trenched out and quarter of the way to working, let's say. The manufactory is partially back online, so we can refine minerals and materials and 3D print better tools and so on. Ian got a message out to a group of to a mysterious group of which he's not given much information yet, but we'll see if that plays out in anything. Finn's the boss, and John Texas Crow is actually finding an appreciative audience for his music.
Finally.
Yeah, I think other than that, I think Finn had an interesting conversation with an old friend who is being granted hospitality at the local brig. So
Yeah, he's staying there. I still haven't decided what I'm gonna do with him.
and John Texas Crow has managed to, by attempting to shirk his duties, hauling rocks around and stuff, managed to get a bunch of miners trained up in the battle suits usage. They have a lot of practice now, working on clearing out the debris and such, and the lava overflows that's cooled and is blocking most of the geothermal apparatus. So now you basically have a small team of trained battlesuit personnel with perhaps not much of a gunnery skill. All right.
Work smarter, not harder.
Yep.
Not sure if that applies here.
How about teamwork makes the dream work?
Closer.
It's in the ballpark.
You just get a lot of them firing in the same general area. Some of them are bound to hit.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll cut to a few actually a couple of weeks have gone by at this point, and you've gotten a lot of work done on the base. The geothermal machinery has been actually been available to start working on repair and replacement. There was ultimately an ancient overflow that was a result of poor or no maintenance, and it's just a matter of repairing or replacing some components that, well, with the ores that you have access to and the help of the people from Medgar's Folly, you can actually get this stuff printed and start putting into place, and work is well underway. The geothermal plant isn't quite up and running yet, but it's well underway. Lots of other repairs have been done on the base. The control room and the various machinery has been wired in to the full base now, and it's pretty busy. There's been this sort of hopeful air about the town, but a lot of tension. But people seem to be getting more at ease and more confident as more time passes without any attacks. Some whispers have been heard here and there of people wondering that maybe the Baron just is writing Medgar's Folly off as a loss and isn't just going to mess with them. You've scared them off.
Ian doesn't believe that for a second.
So, Ian, you're out in your Marauder, just sort of doing a patrol, keeping an eye on things, and well, go ahead and give me a a perception test.
Perception test, huh? All right.
It's perception plus int.
See what we see. Terrible. Absolutely terrible roll. Like a 4.
Okay, so you apparently don't have the right window open or the settings dialed in to watch for such things, so you don't notice the pair of the wing of aerospace fighters, two fighters that are flying very low to the ground until they buzz past you, heading right for the base.
Okay, let's call that shit in.
Where is John Texas Crow at this point? And Finn? I think you're muted there, Cade.
What time of day is this?
There you go. Go ahead and you can declare that. This is a queue system game, so feel free to declare some details.
This is kind of in the mid-afternoon, and it's and he's hanging out kind of at the mech bay at his Phoenix Hawk, just kind of plucking around on the guitar, kind of plucking around songs, kind of he's into his own self right now. He's thinking about things, and he's definitely channeling his artist energy right now.
Okay, and there's a nice breeze coming through because the front gates are open to the air, and there's just this sort of friendly, homey chatter of the people of the town getting about their business here and working on things and generally straightening up and clearing up the space out here, which has been, an awful mess because of the, people who've been taking care of it before. What's Finn up to?
So Finn, by strict contrast to John Texas Crow, is wishing she had time to think because she's been drawn into another meeting with the elders of the town because some of them are wanting to start settling down, relax on some of the training and whatnot, get back to normal. He's leaving us alone. Finn's like, no. Way too early for that. He's definitely not going to just let us sit here, so we need to be ready at all times. And going back and forth along that, I feel like this has been going on for at least an hour.
Yeah, one of the older men of the leaders, his name is Curtis. He's sort of known for being one of the people who just sort of knows a lot of people and gets a lot of things done. Did a lot of mining back in the day, but retired from that. He's sort of leaning over, and he's leaning over and saying, "Now, darling, understand we are prepared. You've done the work. You can rest. There's no further need to continue pouring our resources into a defense that is not needed at this point. We've won. Can't you see that? We're going to be safe, thanks to you." And there's a bit of a buzz on your comm as you see it's being patched in from Ian Warden's mech.
Yes.
John Texas Crow, you're getting the same little buzzing in coming in off beat with the little drum loop that you've got going along to play with.
Okay. Yeah, I reach my boot out and click the comm in the mech cockpit. Hey, what's up?
Paladin to base, general quarters. Just got overflown by aerospace. Not conventional, confirmed, not conventional. Aerospace fighters vectoring on Medgar's Folly. General quarters, guys.
Fuck.
I'm jumping right in and getting suiting up and getting ready for combat.
All right, you start.
Finn just kind of like looks at Curtis. I gotta go.
What? And then one of them like raises up some data pad.
Safe areas.
But there's the matter of the oh dear.
Yeah,
and they all kind of go a bit pale.
Charlie, sound the alarm. Air horns, air raid sirens.
All right, so Charlie acknowledges, and the alarm starts to go off. It hasn't been used in a long time, so the first thing is a bit of a, and then it sort of winds back up into. Seems to be, I don't know, blowing the dust off or something. And then people start looking up and around, and a bunch of them turn to John Texas Crow, who's there. What's happening?
Yeah, I yelled down at him. It's like, get to cover right now. It's coming in.
You hear Charlie's voice on the intercom. General quarters, battle stations. This is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill. As little text aside to Ian Warden, I've always wanted to say that.
Glad we can help you live out your fantasies there, Charlie. Hopefully you'll survive to experience a few more of them.
My airspace sensors aren't properly calibrated. I wouldn't mind some assistance if someone could get up to one of the control panels.
On my way.
They came in low.
I'm picking up some intermittent contacts from that direction, moving fast. It does seem consistent with your mech sensor readouts, though I no longer have that to compare from. So yeah, I guess Finn, if you're running to control panel, would you like to make a roll to see if you can help Charlie lock in on these fighters?
I would very much so. Yes. Technician roll.
This isn't so much about fixing thing, more about operating. I mean, Yeah, computers would work.
Okay. Oh,
It's maybe not the ideal skill for this, but yeah, it'll do.
I mean, I have communications as well.
You could,
Sensors would be ideal, but
yeah, I think computers fits better than communications because you're sort of helping calibrate the systems. So yeah, go ahead and make a roll for that.
Let's see. My tech empathy trait would come in here, right? Even though it's not a tech roll, because it's just +1 bonus for any non-combat tests directly involving technology.
I would say that certainly applies. Yep.
Okay. It's worded a little specifically. All right. So 2d6 plus 4. Well, 5 because. So that's 11, 2 and a 4.
Okay, against a 10, that's going to be a success. You helped kind of dial in and calibrate the systems and get some processes running that weren't running. And Charlie goes, "Oh, there, yes, thank you. That's very helpful." And I've got a solid contact on both now. Confirmed 2 aerospace fighters, medium size. Exact specifications unknown. I'll get more information as they get closer, and that will be very soon.
Yeah,
Should
great.
I-
How do we deal with them?
Should we close the outer gate?
yeah, probably couldn't hurt.
Well, I don't appear to have functional anti-aircraft weaponry at the moment, but I do see some reference to them in my software. I don't believe you'd be able to ready them in time for current operations, but any weapon that you might be able to aim up, you might just want to get under cover and hope they don't hit you. You should be
Thanks.
safe within the base.
Thanks, Charlie.
And in the time that she's describing that, you're seeing the blips and they're coming. It seems like they're heading right for the base. And then they just pass right over the base. There's a sonic boom outside as they're passing by at Mach, 3 or 4. And they both fly. One of them has this sort of a wide, kind of large, curved wing shape of a Shylone. And the other has this sort of fighter... more traditional fighter shaped look, but its rear wings kind of angle forward, and that is identified as a stingray. You don't really get much of a look at it because they're moving so fast, but Charlie supplies you with some slowed down images and pictures and zooms in. And John Texas Crow, you have a bit of a moment as you recognize the unit symbol underneath the wings. These, you have to kind of double check and maybe do a double take and look, but you recognize it as the emblem for both of them of the Maycross Marauders.
Okay. I get on the channel. This is the open just to Finn and just to Ian. And I say, we are in big trouble. When I mean big trouble, I mean big trouble. She's coming.
She
Friend of yours?
I wouldn't exactly call it that way. So you know the song that I sing, that crazy like an inferno round.
I'm gonna be honest, I kind of tune you out.
Okay. What about the one cooking in your own juices?
Can you just get to the point?
It's her. It's her. It's my crazy ex-girlfriend. And she's coming here and she's gonna kill us all.
Your crazy ex-girlfriend is an aerospace pilot.
No, she's not an aerospace pilot. Those are just part of her pirate band. We're in trouble.
This is the kind of information it would have been good to know about in advance.
Listen.
Just for future reference, if we have one.
Everybody always thinks that those songs are like some other, like, just it happened. Those things happened. And I've always stayed systems ahead of her. I've been running from her for a couple of years now, and I haven't seen her. I thought she was gone. We're in trouble.
She lit off an inferno round that you were sitting on.
She's kind of known for that kind of thing.
I question your taste in women. I'm just gonna lay that out there.
Well, listen.
How much is she bringing? What does she have to field?
She's got a lot more than us.
Well,
That's a bar.
we don't have a full lance. I mean, no kidding.
When I got away, she was running a company.
Frag.
Yeah.
Is she about to drop a?
Okay,
she about to land a drop ship on my ass?
Okay.
Not on yours.
You said pirates. Pirates. This is pirates. Why is he going to? Okay, no, that makes sense that he would go to outsiders. Okay.
No, when I met her, I thought she was a lawyer. But she just, it was a whole thing.
To play the whole psychiatrist thing and talk about your relationship problems. We've got more immediate problems to work out, and that's how much is she going to bring to bear? How can we fight, and how do we survive this?
Her name is Hermione. Her name is Hermione Gold, and she hates us all. It means a lot to me.
Well, I kind of do too at the moment.
I'd be slightly more scared if she was a lawyer. Perfectly honest.
She's both.
The aerospace fighters do not return.
Nope, that was a scouting run. All right.
She knows where we are.
Yep.
She's on her way.
And she knows we're fielding a marauder at the bare minimum. Where
Was
the demolisher?
Finn, you feel a hand on your shoulder, and you turn and see there's Elder Curtis. Excuse me.
What can I do for you?
There's been some news from the town. I'm sorry. It's regarding
What
your brother.
happened?
Someone, I think, took him. We don't know for sure. Well, we're fairly sure. I think there was a traitor in the town. If there was one, there might even be more. But yes, he took your brother.
Who?
We don't know for sure, but it just happened, I think.
Where?
I don't know all the information. You might want to
Then
go
who does?
find out. It's in the town, over at, and he mentions someone's house.
Yeah, Finn just it takes off running. There's nope, just gone.
All right, so you recognize the name of the house as let's see, it's just a family name, the Wardens. No, that's Ian's last name. I'll come up with a different name. The
Wait,
the Mechwarriors. No, that's even worse. Somebody. Yes, the Bradys. Okay, fine. It's the Bradys, and they
It's Brady Bunch.
the whole bunch.
they're they're a pretty big family. They're not very technical, and so your brother often does odd jobs helping them out with things that break down, usually a couple times a week.
Every week, Thursday at 8, like clockwork, it seems.
All right,
Is there
so
anybody outside, or she's just first person she sees? What happened?
you take a bike or a car or your mech.
Yeah. Whatever is fast and available.
Okay, so I'm guessing you're hopping into your locust then and running down to town. Like, so cut
Yeah,
to like
That
just
sounds
out
better.
this sort of a 3-story house. It's kind of like all the architecture in this town is very very rugged and functional, but they have a fair amount of decorations as well to spruce the place up. It just seems to highlight how ruddy and generally unattractive the architecture already is. It kind of clashes with it a bit, but when you get there, you can see that Mrs. Brady is out front there to greet you, and she runs forward. And there's actually a good half a dozen other just people hanging around outside, like chatting and being a gaggle.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so
Who took
what
them?
do you
Where
say?
did they go?
The
It
first
was
thing Carol says is calm down.
Well,
it
Jan,
was. I'm sorry. There wasn't anything any of us could do about it. They would have killed us. There were 2 of them. I didn't recognize one of them, but the other was I think his name is Bert. Bert Garland. He's one of the people who would work at the base. Not one of the ones you booted out. Just and you think about it. You think you recognize the name. He would have been like just one of the town gophers for the garrison.
Mm-hmm.
So you
Okay.
saw him around. He was sort of one of the people put to work by them. You didn't really know him very well. Older guy, pretty, I guess, gruff and seemed pretty tough. Even the pirates didn't really push him around much.
Where did they go? What direction?
They left here. We don't know from where, but they came in. They punched James and broke his nose, knocked him out, and I was the only other one in the building at the time. Your brother was working on the oven. Something about the some of the heating coil. He didn't finish it either, unfortunately, but. That doesn't matter now. How ridiculous of me to say that. I'm sorry.
Did they say anything? Did they say anything?
Get down on the
At all.
ground. That's the one. Grab him. Let's go. Not really anything other than that sort of thing. They didn't discuss their plans or give anything away. I'm sorry. That's all I can think of. Both of them had
It's fine. It's fine.
this armor and the suits, the environment suits that the miners wear when they're going out, away from town for a ways, perhaps for several days. I don't know if that helps. They were both armed. One of them had, I think it was a laser pistol. The other one, it was a rifle of some kind. I don't know guns very well. I'm sorry.
It's fine. It's fine. Thank you. I've got to go. And she's gonna actually come back to the other two and be like, I've got a problem more immediate than what we were talking about.
What's happened?
My brother's been taken.
Shit. That's
I
convenient
am.
timing.
I'm here, and it's... I don't know who. Could be pirates, but I didn't think he was for the Look, I'm here. I'm here. And Finn's actually got the tracking skill. I don't remember why I gave that to her, but I feel like it comes in handy right here.
It does seem relevant, yes. So I guess
It does.
checking the scene, looking around things yourself, it does look like a lot of people have sort of wandered around and mucked up some of the tracks, but you might be able to pick something up. Go ahead and make a roll.
For a lot of skills, but not very many ranks in them. 2d6 plus 4. I'm gonna use one of my edge and re-roll both of those. They were both 2s. Slightly better. That's an 11.
Oh, I
3 and a 4.
rolled a 5, a 3, a 2, and a 1. So 11 is good enough for this roll. Okay, so you look around and kind of check some of the spaces around the building that people aren't likely to walk in, but maybe someone might approach from one direction or other. And it doesn't take you very long to find tracks of a pair of people and a couple signs of them, like maybe something dragged along with them, like a foot dragging of someone that they're carrying. You think that's them, and you're able to follow the tracks a little ways around the building towards the back and find that that there is like signs of there having been a hover car parked there that departed recently. As far as tracking the hover car, you can tell which direction it went, but not much more from that. From here, without getting a move on and looking for other sort of larger signs of I don't know, signs of dust, maybe dust clouds from something moving, or adjustments in how the terrain looks based on a hovercraft passing that a tracker might know how to spot.
Yeah.
As well as having access to your mech's sensors and all that. So,
yeah.
As John Texas
This
Crow,
has become priority number 1.
Has John Texas Crow strapped into his Phoenix Hawk by this point?
Yes, I'm there. So, and when I hear what she's doing, I'm going to make my way over towards her, and towards that house. And so I'm coming up just about the time that you kind of looked around, and I'm going to pop the hatch and just kind of look out. And Finn, I am so sorry.
Hovercar went that way.
I'm on it. I'm going to start pursuing that angle and see if I can find anything. Just sensors going and in full recon mode.
All right. And Ian, what are you up to? Have you started heading back toward the base after the aerospace fighter spotting, or are you doing something else?
I started bringing the Marauder back in as soon as I got overflown.
Okay.
By the time I get there, those two are already well on the way, and I'm, I guess, going to sensors, trying to figure out if we can see any incoming or track anything like clearly in orbit that's about to drop on our heads.
Okay, let's have each of you make a narration as you're going about doing things. So, Ian Ward, you can start with yours. You're mainly scanning for other threats, like the incoming drop ships or something, I suppose. So, give me a roll for that. What skill are you going to use?
Well, I'm going to probably say the most relevant skill I've got for that would be tactics.
Okay, so it's less about operating the frequencies right. That's a bad description, I'm sure, but operating the technology to find things exactly right, and more about anticipating where the most likely approaches would be. So you're looking in the right direction. I got it. Okay.
Hopefully.
So yeah, that plus int.
Oh my god. I'm going to go ahead and edge that and re-roll both of them because those were both ones. Literally both dice ones, which sucked. Still not a great roll. Only a total of about an 8, but still better than what I had at first.
Okay, you don't see any signs of incoming trouble, and you don't pick up any other vehicles or things operating on sensors other than the expected operating mining vehicles.
Charlie, can you watch the seismics for me? I got a feeling we're going to see this stuff come stomping in. This base is an unknown. I wouldn't park a drop ship on top of it, so I'm betting she's going to walk it in.
focusing seismic sensors. If you wouldn't mind, perhaps if one of you might consider making the anti-aircraft defenses a priority.
Make the anti-aircraft... I'll do it, Charlie. If you can walk me through it, I'll do it.
It's a deal, but I don't detect any signs of incoming mechs or aircraft.
Yeah, better safe than sorry right now. Priority. All right, yeah, let's make it a priority. Tell me what to do.
Well, I will need someone to have a look at them. I don't have active sensors observing their locations, and the only information I have is that their status is offline. I'm marking their physical locations here, 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 and here. You can see little blips show up on the mountain side that the base is built within. Zooming in, you can see not much of anything. I mean, it's like there's the mountain there and then like some rocks and rubble or something, but you don't see what would look like anti-aircraft weapons, so you sort of move in to get a closer look. As you're doing that, I guess John, Texas Crow, and Finn are heading off in the direction that the hovercar had gone.
Yep.
So go ahead and whichever one of you wants to start, describe how you're going about trying to track down or catch up to the kidnappers or whatever it is you're doing, and give me a skill roll to go with it.
So for me, what I'm doing is surveying and seeing just the kind of terrain that a hover car can and can't go over, and noticing that it's bending, it's winding, doing these different things. But I know that because I'm in a mech that has jump jets, I can leap over some of those areas, and so I'm going to try to get some altitude and maybe get ahead of where a hover car would be going on that. And so that's what I'm going to be doing. So I'll make a piloting roll to kind of as I'm jumping over kind of rough terrain and doing those kind of things. And that would be a +6, 13 on that roll.
All right, versus an 11, that's successful. You're able to kind of push your mech to the limits, keep up on speed a little bit where Finn might outpace you. You're able to keep up because you can jump over the rocks. That said, there is that thing that happens sometimes when you use your jump jets. So do you have to roll something for that? I don't remember the details.
That's right. On a roll of a 2 or 3, there's issues. But I'm clear. I got a 10.
Okay. You've got some reliable jump jets.
Finn's work is holding together.
All right. Yeah, every time you jump, there's a little bit of a list to one side you have to compensate for because, one of the jump jets isn't really designed for this specific mech, but it works. It works. Just part of her charm.
By spit and duct tape.
All right, and Finn, how about you? Gonna go with I guess you've already made the initial tracking roll. You could follow up with another tracking roll, or maybe perception would work, or something else if you got another idea.
I was actually thinking perception, because she's kind of moving a little bit faster now that she's got a general direction. So now she's just relying on her. She's basically moving rather quickly, not full out because then he wouldn't be able to keep up as well. But relying on her brain to make all those connections and be like, hey, wait, that's to catch what her conscious mind might miss in that's signs of them breaking off or going in this other direction, or she's just kind of moving really quickly at this point.
All right, sorry, which skill were you say you're using again?
Perception.
Okay.
That is a 12. I rolled 2 3s. I'm not rolling well tonight.
Well, I rolled even worse, way less than that. So, you do, as you're looking around, you just happen to catch just this wisp of something on the thermals off to the side as you're running past. You like stop, back up a little bit, and turn and find that, yeah, you didn't see it before, but in this area where there's these rocks that jut out and that John Texas Crow just jumped over, there's like an overhang, and it looks like there might be like an entrance, or at the very least like a nook or ravine or something in there that you didn't see before. And getting a bit of a heat signature off of it, that's interesting. It was a brief thing, like just something on the air that was gone. But you think you spotted something.
Yeah, over here.
Oh. Where?
Over here.
I'm going to switch on infrared and do a magnetic anomaly detection and kind of look through the heat scope and see if there's anything I can pick up.
Okay, that sounds like a... what is the sensor skill? I forget here the names for the skills.
I have no
I've
idea.
only been playing this game 7 times now, so...
What is it? I know there is one. Give me half a second. I've got the book open. Skills on...
In some ways, you would think that would go along with a piloting skill, because it deals with operating the net. But in some ways, you're like,
this
something else.
This is the new
Or
Maverick
gunnery.
defaulting to pistols for everything, isn't it?
It is... What am I looking for again?
Sensors.
Sensors is tracking. Physical tracking, sensor tracking, and shadowing.
Is that intelligence?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to have to default to intelligence then. And I roll a 9.
Hey, you're not picking up any anomalies or anything, but you are picking up on, there is something deeper within. It seems like it's a tunnel, certainly wide enough for a hover car, maybe a couple of them side by side. Definitely too small for a mech to go in, though, even the Locust.
I was gonna say.
Are you sure about that?
Yes, I'm sure.
Yeah, the dimensions don't add up for that. Like, no matter what you roll on your piloting skill, it's... You could try blowing it open with some gunnery, but you're just as likely to collapse it as do something productive.
No.
Yeah,
I will default to pistols, and that will be a wide enough hole at some point. So.
All right, back to Ian Warden. Looks like you found these. You found the first location. Kind of move things around with your mech's big feet. Unfortunately, this mech has big guns instead of hands. So
I would not have taken the Marauder actually out to do this.
Oh, you wouldn't.
It does not have hands. It doesn't have manipulators. I would have taken the Valkyrie because it is faster and has jump jets and has manipulators.
Okay, fair enough. So yeah, you've got the Valkyrie out. It's give me a piloting roll as you're getting used to a definitely different mech to maneuver. Now you've used these in simulators, I'm sure, but
That's better. A 15.
oh yeah, okay. You there's a moment where you accelerate a little bit faster than you mean to and almost like trip or run into something, but you just kind of roll with it and you're like, oh yeah, and start to get used to the more responsiveness of this. But that said, it's very, I guess, creaky or noisy. There's a bunch of unusual sounds, and like there's this little heat warning thing that pops up every now and again, as if you're overheating when you're like totally not.
Finn, I gotta talk to you about maintaining this thing. We need to get Finn a crew.
So you're able
We
to
could build one.
to get out there. You pick and move some rocks and things around, and you do find this very dented but very large hatch that you're able to start prying loose and get open. You do find that there is indeed sort of a recessed large anti-aircraft defense gunnery system here, with one large barrel and several smaller ones. Seems to be like an oversized PPC. with
Crap.
maybe some small lasers to back it up. And you can see some signs of damage, but it doesn't look like there's anything horribly physically wrong with it. You'll have to get out of your mech and take a closer look. Charlie
Will do
lets
so.
you know.
I will do so.
All right, go ahead and give me a tech roll.
I have no tech, so I'm going to guess intelligence.
I'll give you a +1 in tech with Charlie's assistance.
Okay, so 10.
All right, you needed a
This is
9
what
on
you
this.
get sending a man to do a Finge job.
It's a fairly
That's
easy
right.
roll.
Well, someone ran off.
What you do find is the number of components and cabling is just essentially corroded and, well, melted in one case. You just need to basically replace some cables and a few like fairly common components, and it should hopefully work. Hopefully the other ones are as accessible as this, but if you're able to call up or maybe run back down and get some parts and come back up, you should be able to have this up and running in less than an hour.
Do we have anyone working currently in the base?
There's
Any
lots
of the
of people in the base now, yeah.
Okay. I'm going to call a tech crew and tell them what I'm looking at and where, and say, please get up here, work on this, or else we're all going to probably get bombed from orbit.
All right.
Sounds like a leadership role to me.
Yeah, I think so.
I'll make that roll, hopefully. Yeah, I'll make that roll.
Are you going to piss them off and freak them out in an unproductive way, or are you going to motivate them to get the job done?
I want to motivate them, especially since they've already heard the sonic boom of 2 aerospace fighters going overhead. I give them a 13.
Okay, yeah, that definitely succeeds. So, yeah, within a couple of minutes, you get a very motivated tech crew of 5 people up here.
Oh, good. I actually misadded. It was a 15, so even better.
Okay. Oh, yeah,
Good
they
lord.
get up there quickly with some tools and yeah, a little like ATV style vehicle hauling a trailer.
Fantastic. You see what it needs doing? Here, here, and here.
Oh yeah, easy.
All right, I gotta go
Oh,
check
this
some
is
of the
a big gun.
Yeah, it is, and there's 3 others hopefully that'll help. So I got to go check on them. Be prepared. I may call for a second run, or 3 more for that matter.
All
Mount
right,
back up and go to the next ACAC.
all right. So Finn and Crow, what are you doing when you've
Yep.
encountered this? Just a tunnel entrance.
What I'm curious about is if there's and I'm clicking on and talking to Finn.
You
real
go see
quick.
if it has another exit. Finn's gonna go in on foot.
No, Finn. I think I'm a little better in a fight than you are. You go around. You're faster. Go see if there's an exit. I'm getting out and looking and coming in this way.
Fine. She takes off.
All
Like
right.
she had started like opening her canopy, and she's like, "All right, fine."
All right, so I think what we'll do is do some heavy narrative style perception rolls on this. What we're going to do is, John Texas Crow, you're going to make a perception roll as you investigate the tunnel. And Finn, you're going to make a perception roll as you start investigating things out and around the nearby area to see if there's other entrances. If you win the perception roll, you get to decide what you find. If I win the perception roll, well, I get to decide what you find. And it won't be in your favor. So I think for both of these, I'm going to roll 3 dice against you. So
All right.
who wants to go first?
I got a grand total of an 8 on my roll.
Well, I got a 6, a 5, and a 3. That adds up to, well, a lot more than 8.
Why don't you tell me what I found?
Okay. So you start moving in. It's a very dark but wide tunnel, and it doesn't look natural. It's got that signs of having been sort of cut out by the mining tools. You haven't really been around the mines in this mining town so much, but there are all these different deposits that are found through some sort of fancy means that, I don't know, everyone in town talks about. You don't pay that much attention because it's not relevant to you. But they go to these places and find these rich ore veins, but they're also fairly limited ones, so they're like nodes. And so you think this might be a node that someone had come in and mined, but it doesn't seem active anymore. And it goes in like a ways. It goes sort of in and down slightly, and it just seems to go one direction. It's easily wide enough for a hover car to just drive down, or even you might be able to fit the demolisher in here if you really wanted to. I'm not suggesting that you would, but probably not. That would be really tight. But yeah, most ground vehicles could pass through here if they're not too tall. They unless they actually, this doesn't look like a camp where they've set up in the cave. This looks like a way they went that you couldn't really follow in a mech. Let's see how Finn's roll goes. Ooh.
Yes, let's see indeed.
Well, I rolled 2 6s and a 5.
Ah.
It could edge you.
At least I'm not shooting your mech with that roll.
Cliff's coming up all aces right now.
I didn't quite beat it. It's a 13 for me.
Nope. So what you do detect actually is you do detect another opening and then another one, and then you realize that this is actually an area that you recognize. You don't do the mining stuff as much, so I mean you didn't think of it immediately, but now that you're seeing the pattern, this is like an area where there was like a bunch of different nodes that were clustered together nearby, like scattered over quite a few square kilometers. And there's essentially like a network of tunnels wide enough for a hover car to get around and emerge from any number of other exits, from a wide range of space that you couldn't hope to cover. If you're going to find the way they went or they could be somewhere in the tunnels still. There's plenty of spaces down there, large spaces like this. This is a whole really difficult place to like go searching for people. Like when people would run away from the local garrison and try to get away from their life or because they stole something or whatever, this is a place they might go to disappear, and they do disappear. So
they ain't gonna stay disappeared.
So you think maybe they might be down in there, or maybe they're going to use that as a way to pick sort of a really unfavorable shell game, sort of a escape route. Ian Warden, why don't you give me a just another perception test as you're checking the other guns. We'll do this the same style.
Okay, that's a 9.
I got a 6, a 4, and a 2. So what you do find is all 3 of the other gun emplacements are just completely wrecked. Like the guns themselves are. Like the actual
Damn it.
emplacement, the hard point to set up the gun, like those are okay. So if you're able to manufacture or salvage anything that's a long range weapon, you could have someone clear away the mess of what was there and stick something on there. But you've only got one of those beautiful ultra PPCs or whatever it is they'd be called.
And
So yeah, you've got a fairly decent inventory of various smaller weapons down at the base. So various point defense stuff, but yeah, probably a large laser or 2, maybe even a PPC you can stick on there. And Charlie can start manufacturing something, but to manufacture one of those really big PPC things it would be well, she'd require the blueprint first, which she doesn't seem to have access to or may not have in her database. And it would be a pretty major project.
No, of course not. Will these accept a missile battery? Like LRMs?
The text turns, says, we can make it work.
All right.
I mean, well, I want like nudges as if just like give him a face like we can, and just like, yeah, just fine. It won't be pretty. It'll work though.
They have learned well.
They have learned well.
It's not ideal, but I know I saw a spare PPC array that would have gone in the Marauder. I know for a fact there are 2 LRM cases down there. Don't know how many tubes they're mounting. Oh, God, I wouldn't give for those to be freaking 20s. All right.
We're gonna want to get Crow's crew on this to move the parts. Then
Do it. If I can help you pull something up with a Valkyrie, tell me. Guide me on this, guys. We've got to order a battle. We got to get ready here.
all right. So you're sort of helping supervise and
All cargo.
haul cargo and get the air defenses back online, so to speak. As you're hauling stuff up and seeing seeing the you're just bringing up like larger parts and chunks of things and setting them here and there and helping align them or hold them in place while they weld things, creating essentially the movable tracking mount for a missile system out of basically MacGyvering one of spare parts. You've got the missile systems, but the actual mounts to sit on there and aim and calibrate with the targeting computer. That's a bit of work, but they seem to be up to the task, seem to be at least. And Charlie informs you that we'll call, shall we call it, anti-aircraft battery 1 is online. Shall we fire off a test shot to make sure to clear the tubes?
Yeah, give it a shot.
All right. The PPC sort of extends out, and it's one of those sort of like a telescoping barrel, and it's got all these different like Tesla coil looking capacitors and things all running down, and sparks run up along the side of it, and the air around starts to become heavy, and it hums, and then there's this crackle as this huge, bright, blinding beam just goes out of the planet's atmosphere, and Finn, you're sort of like looking around at things, and you can see over at the base this huge beam go up into the sky. You can tell that it was coming from the ground, not down to the base. So,
Okay.
Charlie, you didn't tell me that was orbital.
I am afraid it is not. It theoretically could be, but I don't have the targeting assist that would allow me to make accurate shots from outside of the planet's atmosphere. If those aerospace fighters attempt to make a flyby, they'll have to remain very close to the ground if they don't want to be vaporized.
Well, that's what the LRMs are for, hopefully. Question about that. Would a satellite in orbit assist you with targeting that beam?
Yes, that would exactly be the sort of thing that would help. Something to give me telemetry from outside of the atmosphere, ideally.
Okay. Guys, I'll be back. Take the Valkyrie back in, head for the communications array, and let's try sending that old but valid set of codes to the Comstar satellite in orbit that we know is there.
All right. This sounds like something that might cost you a plot point to have a chance of making it work.
I'm happy to spend a plot point to say that I'm going to dig back down into the section of the communications array we found that still had some valid Starleague era codes, and aim it up at the Starleague, the Comstar communications satellites network that's up there. I don't want to send a message. I just want to establish a basic connection that looks like a person did it. No hint of an AI.
Okay, this sounds like a computer roll to me, unless you have something else in mind.
Fantastic. Another skill I don't have. Do I have access to a computer technician around?
Yes, as a matter of fact.
Dang! I'm going to talk him through what he's about to do, or she's about to do, or they're about to do, and say, okay, make that happen.
All right, then give me a leadership role, and that will essentially qualify for their role. But I'm gonna have you pay another plot point then, to essentially substitute their skill for yours.
Valid. That's gonna net me a 12.
All right, I rolled 3 dice against you. It's a 3, 3, and a 1, so a 12 is definitely good enough.
All right then.
You're starting to work on this. It's going to take a while, but you will ultimately establish a basic connection. So Finn and Crow, you're out there. It looks like you sort of hit, well, the equivalent of a dead end for now. What are you going to do?
I want to get
Finn's
back.
not... Go on.
I'm going to go ahead and get back into my Phoenix Hawk, and I want to turn on my communications array and just kind of transmit on all signals, kind of in that area, and just say, all right, you got him, and you've got the upper hand. You're holding the cards right now. What do you want? And just kind of, I see that as being maybe a kind of a negotiation role to see if there's anybody out there that wants to talk back on this.
Okay. Finn, how about you?
Well, he says that, and she's physically biting her tongue to keep from insulting them. But mostly right now, she, given that this is kind of a dead end, I mean, she's not letting this go, obviously. She's mostly racking her brains trying to figure out who this is. Is he working for the, why do I always, only thing coming to mind is Overlord, but that's not quite what he's called.
Baron?
Baron.
That's what he styles himself as. Yeah.
Yeah. Is he working for him? Is this another party in play? If so, who else have I pissed off? Because they were looking for my brother specifically. The 12-year-old kid that works on technology out on the farm is not generally the number one target.
No, but now he's the younger brother of the leader of the revolution.
So who is trying to get at me?
All right. Well, with that, there's no apparent response from them. They don't seem to want to talk to you, or maybe they didn't hear you, or who knows? Maybe this was a false trail they set and they went a different direction entirely. You just don't have a lead right now. Some time passes, and Ian Warden, you establish the connection with the satellite. I'm going to cut to a little bit of time. I'm going to say you probably get the people from town involved in a search. Some vehicles are going out and actually heading into the tunnels to see what they can find. But it doesn't seem likely they're going to catch up with the kidnappers. So, Ian Warden, you establish a connection with the satellite, and Charlie starts getting to work. little bit of time passes. There's no further news about your brother Finn. I mean, what I mean by a little bit of time, like we'll say about a day or so. But Ian, you're working on something in the base when you're approached by what was her name? The elder, the town elder lady who you made the deal with to send the message. Well, it's her. She shows up.
Jenny.
Yes, thank you,
Jenny.
Yeah, Miss Jenny. She shows up. Mr. Warden, I have some news for
Jenny.
you.
I'm listening.
I wish to speak in private.
It's 100 places to be private around here.
Yep, you find a place where you can talk in private. She sits down and says, well, first I shall, I suppose, give you the good news. My person was able to report that your message had been sent.
Okay.
I have a file here, which is the Comstar receipt. That says as good as confirmed that it's delivered. Whoever you sent it to will receive it. I hope that's good news for everyone.
Hopefully so.
Because the bad news is bad. The
Yeah.
Baron has hired a mercenary company.
Let me guess. Macross Marauders.
Ah, I see you are well informed. This certainly helps my confidence of chances of our survival a bit. However, he was able to observe them disembarking from their dropship for inspection and present what should be a fairly complete assessment of their forces. She passes you a data pad, and you start scrolling through unit designations. You see the 2 aerospace fighters that were detected, 6 Warrior H-7 attack helicopters, a light lance, a stinger, a wasp, 2 locusts, a heavy lance with 2 catapults, a rifleman, a warhammer, and the command lance, a cicada, a blackjack, a hunchback, and the command mech is a shadowhawk. This is not only a company of mechs, but a company of mechs with air support, and they do have what looks like 3 of the smaller, the sort of lance scale leopard size. I think that leopard would be the designation for the dropship.
Yeah.
So not typically risked in direct action because they're expensive and difficult to replace, but could be used for rapid deployment of a lance of mechs.
Definitely will be. All 3 of them. Fan-frickin-tastic.
That seems like a lot of
It is.
mechs.
It is 4 times what we can field right now, since we are down at least 1 pilot to even bring the Valkyrie out to the field. It is 4 times the long-range firepower that the Marauder can actually manage at a farther distance, I might point out. They'd be kind of scared of the Demolisher. They're going to have a hard time coming into town with that thing parked, ready to go in basically urban warfare with it. But they're not scared of us with that stuff. That's going to be a problem.
I've spent some time conversing with the captive mech warrior, Bradley.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't believe that he can be thoroughly trusted, but I do believe that he could be suborned and utilized.
What are you thinking?
I'm thinking to pass it along to you and let you decide what is best. He seems motivated by greed and self-preservation. If you can work those levers in your favor, you might be able to even the odds some.
Fair point.
Just saying, he's not someone I would normally recommend putting our lives in the hands of. But you do seem to have limited options. That large tank of yours, I imagine that might be of some assistance. Yes?
Honestly, I'd rather that stay in town. They're not going to try and come into town with that thing. Urban warfare is a mess. You don't necessarily want to start lobbing around large swaths of missiles trying to nail something like that when you want to keep the town. And you don't want to face that thing in urban combat. It'll tear a locust in half with one shot.
She nods and sort of pales a bit and swallows, sort of steels herself and says, My advanced mining vehicles are equipped with very powerful generators. They are fusion-based. They should be able to operate weapon systems, I'm told, as large as perhaps a medium laser. I'd be willing to put them up for the defense. But please be advised that these vehicles are irreplaceable and incredibly important to the livelihood, to my livelihood, and well, to the town's ability to gather minerals. So I would ask that you be careful with them. I won't expect them to come back without a scratch.
Put bluntly, Miss Jenny, if we don't manage to at least come to some arrangement, if not win outright, which I don't like our odds on anyway, I don't know that it would end up mattering. And if we do manage to win it, I can tell you now the manufacturer can make enough parts to rebuild one of those things from scratch if it had to, minus the fusion plant.
Oh, there's just the one other matter then.
All right.
Finn. Her brother was taken.
Yeah, timing seems awfully coincidental on that, doesn't it?
It does not seem coincidental at all to me.
Yeah.
And I will tell you that, well, I found the most trustworthy people can be broken when family is on the line.
Yeah, that is a concern. More concerned with finding the kid, getting him back.
We're looking, but I think they've not left a trail we can follow, unless we get lucky, or they make some demands. I don't know what we can do, but Elder Curtis is heading up most of the search, most of the work on the search there. I've been concerned with other matters primarily. Thank you for your time. I'll leave you to it.
Thank you, Miss Jenny. Much obliged.
Yeah, I think with that, we'll call our break.
All right.
Be back in about 10 minutes here.
Hey, we got a super chat.
Oh, yeah,
Palmer.
before we do that, let's thank you, Palmer, for the super chat, $5. And I'm not sure if I mentioned at the beginning that this is a charity stream. We are doing this to raise awareness for World Builders, which is it's a geek-run charity that helps out with a lot of different causes around the world, including Heifer International and some other very worthy causes. And they're one of the better charities where the money that you put towards them actually goes to where it's supposed to. So all of our super chats are going to be passed along to World Builders, and also just go to the site, check it out, worldbuilders.org, and feel free to make a donation there. You don't have to do it via the super chats. Actually, it's maybe even better to just make your own direct donation, because then YouTube doesn't take a cut. But the super chat thing is nice and easy to use. So yeah, I'm not trying to dissuade anyone from that. So thanks very much, Palmer, for that. And yeah, we'll be back in a few minutes. thanks for joining us. back from our break. Thanks for joining us today, everybody. This has been a fun session. I've been having fun. How about the rest of you?
You've been having fun.
I just want to put this out there because I am actually having fun. I am not as snappy as Finn is. Finn is it's Finn, not me. I promise.
Okay. Oh, good. You're breaking up a little
Just
bit there,
wanna
but
get
you're
that
back
out
with
there.
us. Good.
I just want to put out there that John Texas Crow is having a lot more fun than I am. So, because I'm sweating bullets on this one.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Ian Warden has been busy doing the tech stuff back at the base. All right, so I think for this next phase of for the rest of our session here, I'm going to lay it out a little bit. You have this overwhelming force that you believe has been hired to crush and defeat you. If you believe that, you believe it rightfully, because the Baron has had enough of your shenanigans and needs to make sure that no one thinks that it's a good idea to rebel on his planet. Also, he needs all the income from the minerals that Medgar's Folly acquires and produces and sends back to his big city. So he's hired the Maycross Marauders, a mercenary company, to come and take you down because Ham and Cheese, well, failed.
And she's got burnt.
They have drop ships,
Toast.
so they could show up basically any time. You are under the impending, the threat of an impending attack that could come at any moment. So you really don't know how long you have to prepare or how they're going to come at you. But at least you know what their unit is, and well, John Texas Crow has a little inside information about their the company's leader. Hermione Gold, who pilots a Shadowhawk with Inferno missiles packed in the tubes. So
Finn has been feverishly doing whatever needs to be done at the base, getting defenses up, training people, weapons, whatever. She has not slept at all since the previous day looking for her brother. Like, she just has not slept. She worked through the night. She's just focus 100%. Maybe it's better that he's not here when this happens, you know?
Yep, that's the other problem of Finn's brother being, well, missing, probably in the hands of your enemies or something. Whatever it is, it's not good. So yeah, I guess you'll have a few chances here to do whatever preparations you think might give you some sort of chance at survival and or having a sibling, depending on where you focus your efforts. So yeah,
Sounds really bad.
So yeah, with that, some indeterminate amount of time passes over the next day or two, we'll say, as you make some preparations, or I don't know what it is you might do. Ian Warden sent off the call for help, but boy, this seems pretty imminent compared to what that might be able to accomplish.
I think I need to go to have a little chat with Bradley.
Good luck.
Yeah.
I'd like to come along on that talk.
It's a good idea.
Finn is equipping like a scouting party that's going out with she's gonna jerry-rig together or try to jerry-rig together some better devices to like map the tunnels.
Okay.
So like, because if we can get it mapped, then we can we can mark off where we've looked, what we've found, what we've not found. Just get it mapped. This won't happen again to anybody.
There are actually old maps, but there might have been other tunnels dug in or other areas, unofficial hiding spots or living quarters are potentially all over the place, maybe. So yeah, you might be able to find some of those. You get to work on that. I guess John, Texas Crow, and Ian Warden, you're heading into the brig, where actually there's a different brig area now. Bradley hasn't been strapped into a couch this whole time. There's another space where there's sort of a small, somewhat comfortable but sparse room with it's like it's a transparent aluminum wall on the side that you can approach and talk with them. The brig is large enough to hold up to 6 people. Bradley. Finn, did you have a full name for him?
Bradley Richter.
Bradley Richter. Okay,
Richter.
yeah. Richter.
Should be him, and I think there was one other, right?
Ham and Cheese is dead in the fusion reaction.
Yeah, he's dead.
Shen piloted the Valkyrie,
He got
but
away,
escaped.
didn't
He got away.
Yeah.
And there was Richter, and then there was another pilot. Forget his name now. He was the one piloting the other heavier of the other mechs.
The Wolverine.
and
Didn't he
he
also get pulverized?
There was an ammo explosion. There was not much left of that mech.
Yeah, that didn't.
It was one of the infantry that came in. He surrendered.
Mm.
There was somebody. There
Yeah.
was another one somewhere.
If you have to forgive me, I don't remember their name. If you want to,
No, you just
I
be
don't
there. Fine.
all right.
Just they're both in the same place.
You know, I'm just going to go ahead and use this to my advantage as the GM and say he's not there. He's the other one that kidnapped Finn's brother.
How the hell did he escape?
Ha ha. I don't know, but it happened. He did a really good role.
Well, we were
He had a
wondering.
great
Had help.
narration.
Sure enough.
Outside help is how it happened.
I mean, ultimately, like, he knows his way around the place. The people, the Medgar's Folly, were taking the base. They're not used to, like, running a tight military operation or even keeping people in jail, right? So yeah, slip-ups happen, things go wrong, and it wasn't even mentioned to you at this point. You start asking around a little bit, you get that report back. So yeah, he hasn't been seen, so yeah, we can assume that he's the other one.
Damn it. I'll have to deal with that later. Or
Yep.
Finn will catch him and shoot him in the head, probably.
Yeah.
But
Both.
Richter looks
That'll
up.
be dealing with it.
Richter looks up from a data pad that he's been provided. It's sort of locked off, just has some reading material, I guess, or media on it. As you approach, and he looks up, a bit hopeful, I guess. Oh, visitors. Oh, good. It's so boring in here.
Oh,
Oh.
Mr. Richter, I'm terribly sorry that your stay has not been as much of a vacation as you might have been expecting.
Well, it is nice to get a little quiet time every now and again, I suppose, but yeah, too much of a good thing.
Well, it's a good thing that that's going to come to an end, whether we like it or not.
He sort of tenses up a bit, wondering if you're just about to hand him the death sentence the town just decided or whatever.
Mr. Richter, are you familiar at all with an organization called the Macross Marauders?
Can't say I've heard of him. Is it a mercenary group?
You might say that. Have you heard Mr. Crow's song about the Inferno missile that was lit up underneath someone's pants? He sang it twice nightly at the bar. It's kind of hard to have missed it.
Is this some sort of a karaoke test?
It's more of a thing, more of a question of what do you think's going to happen if the woman he described leads a full company of pirate mercenaries and they're going to come here?
Oh, the Baron hired mercenaries. That makes sense.
Yes, it does.
Well, yeah, I guess I wouldn't have expected him to just keep throwing more goons. Maybe he set up a bounty. But yeah, hiring mercenaries, That sounds like the sort of thing I might do if I were in his position. Have you thought much about my suggestion that, those of us with mechs, maybe I could take the spare one, could wander off and not be a target?
Well, wander off.
No, you're here to ask me to help you fight them off. That's what's happening, isn't it? Oh my.
Well, see, here's the thing. She's not coming to take prisoners. She's not coming as a rescue operation. She packs Inferno missiles into her Shadowhawk for fun.
Yeah, and I can tell you the Baron, well, if he wants prisoners, that would be worse than if he doesn't. He needs to make an example out of us.
Us, yes, that's the key here, isn't it? Us.
Yeah. We've reached a funny stage here, Richter, where there's no longer a you and us. It's just a whole bunch of we going on here.
All right, go ahead and give me some sort of a social test.
I want to sweeten the pot for him just a little bit.
Okay.
I'm going to lean forward and look and say, Richter, I know what you are deep down. You're a snake, but you're the kind of snake that works for money, and I respect that. I know that. This is what I'm going to do for you. We get out of this. If we can connect back, I'm going to put a word in with you with the Waco Rangers. They're always looking for good pilots. And if you can prove that you've got what it takes, then you might link up with a unit that's been a lot better than anything you've ever had before.
Works really well if you can bring your own mech, too. Like a Valkyrie, say.
This is the sweetest deal that you're ever going to get. A Valkyrie, a chance to get introductions and get your name out there, and not get pasted to a wall with an Inferno missile while you're sitting here in your cell.
All right, you've got him here. He's hovering on the knife's edge of a balance here. His self-interest in preservation, core value, balanced against his greed, and also desire to not be a dispossessed mech warrior. So go ahead and give me a roll here. Both of you, I think, make a social test, and I'll let you use the better of the two results as to represent your teamwork, I guess.
Probably going to be John Texas Crow's result then.
All right, I'm using negotiation on this. I rolled a 9 plus 5, which is 14 on that.
Much better than mine.
I rolled 3 dice, 2 5s and a 4. So he thinks for a long moment.
I think I'm going to use an edge and have you re-roll.
but you succeeded.
Oh, wait, I did?
Yeah, a 14.
Player.
Oh, I misread that. You're right. 14.
Okay. I mean,
I'm
unless
sorry.
you just want to win by more, but it's kind of a pass-fail sort of thing. And I'm basing the test more on like whether he's earnestly going to follow you or whether he's just planning to sell you out as soon as he can get a reasonable chance of doing so. So yeah, with your success, you don't really have a way of knowing, but narratively speaking, those of us on the outside can tell that, or at least it seems that he's very earnest or sincere. He nods and says, well, ham and cheese, the Baron, none of them ever offered me a deal like that. It's a chance to get back in the cockpit and keep the mech. It sounds like a good deal to me. I'll take it.
I will open the door.
I reach out my hand and I shake it and I kind of lean up to him and say, by the way, don't ever get close to Finn. She's going to shoot you in the head.
Thanks for the advice.
And I just kind of slap him on the shoulder, and we go on.
So do I get one of those like he kind of gestures at your skin tight Mechwarrior uniform? Oh, come on!
I point to his cut off jeans, his jorts. Say, that's all you, man. That's all you.
Actually, I'll tell you what. You know anything about where somebody might go if they committed a kidnapping in this frickin' town?
It's a small town. It sounds like a more specific question than the general one you're asking. I mean, like, what happened? Are you like? Is this something to do with the locals? Because I didn't really pay much attention to them most of the time.
Say that the Baron arranged to have someone on the council, one of their family members, kidnapped.
Oh, then you probably couldn't trust that council member.
Well, yeah, no kidding. That's the problem. Any idea where they might hide out?
Depends on how able they are to get around.
Hover car.
I don't know. If I were gonna do something like that, I wouldn't be close. I'd just probably go right to the city.
Crap. Well, if that happened, we're completely out of luck, so we might as well go with the idea that they didn't, because it's the only thing that gives us an option.
Mm-hmm.
All right, never mind.
That's ominous.
Should be. Get some sim time for the Valkyrie if you've never piloted her before.
I've actually been in the cockpit a couple times, but that was Shen's mech more often than mine. So
yeah, kicks off kind of easy. Anyway,
so, where are you keeping Shen anyway? He didn't sign on with you, did he? Or
he did not. He managed to escape, actually.
Huh.
Smarter than you are.
Think he's gonna come back for the mech?
Ben's not there.
Ben's not there.
I can't help it. I hate him so much.
I turn my comm link off.
Yeah, just to remind everyone, Bradley Richter was the original pilot of the Locust that Finn was conscripted to work on. Never ever let her get a chance to get in the cockpit and pilot it because she was one of the just local techs, and he's one of the sort of pirate garrison mech warriors. But yeah, now he's on your side.
How to treat a mech.
Right.
That got under her skin the most.
So yeah, with that you've got some I guess vehicles that are getting outfitted with some lasers. These are various different mining craft. They're actually fairly quick. They're normally drive around and do scanning. They can stop and deploy some tools and do some mining, but they need to be able to get around in tight spaces and underground and such. They actually have like something that would be, if you get a mech to hold still for several minutes, it would be really effective at destroying them. But it's essentially a mining laser array that is sort of removed in its place, a MacGyvered mounting for medium lasers. So any of these, like anything bigger than a small laser, would just toast them in one hit. But they should be able to regularly put out medium laser fire until that happens. Maneuverability isn't like super fantastic as far as combat stuff goes. It'd be like a maneuverability of 2. So pretty light and not very reliable combat force, but certainly more mobile than the Demolisher, which you have at your disposal as well. Cutter and Bald Bill have been basically just seeing to getting the tank in good order, And they've mostly just kind of been hanging around the tank a lot. Like, they sleep near the tank. They hang out in and around the tank. They don't really, like...
They're ready to go.
The local Medgar's Folly people don't seem to, like... They're pretty cool to them. Like, not cool as in, like, friendly cool, but, like...
Cool as in cold shoulder cool.
Yeah, and they don't seem like the most social bunch anyway. So with that, they seem at the ready. So you've got that asset. But again, you're looking at a dozen mechs, 6 attack helicopters, and a pair of aerospace fighters.
And a partridge and a pear tree.
Yeah.
I also there's Crow's crew.
Yeah. Do not discount my men.
There's the battle armor team. Yep, they have
and the drummer.
They have the Star League era battle armor that has a shoulder mount and can also carry, larger weapons. You're not going to have anything fancy like elemental anti-mech infantry training, but you might be able to use them to an advantage. As far as other stuff, you got plenty of small arms, even some heavier weapons, things like portable short-range missile launchers, machine guns, heavy infantry lasers, so they amount to the equivalent of like a small laser on a mech, but it's a big-ass tripod thing. So, and you've got lots of people in town who are willing to step up and defend their homes. So you've got those assets in place, but what else are you up to?
I've got 2, I think, more plot points coming to me.
Yeah, you start the session with 4, and I think you've used 2.
Yeah, I've used 2. Here's what I want to do. I want to get with, it's either Callahan or Miss Jenny, probably a little bit of both, and say, I know you guys have explosives. You need them for the mining. I've got some casings for proximity mines. Not many. Manufacturers chunked out a couple extra. But what are the odds that your demo teams can mine some of the approaches if I give you an idea where?
They sort of look at each other and nod a bit. Give me a tactics roll.
All right. This is off 2 plot points, so I'm better be looking good. Not great. 10.
Well, I shit you not. I rolled a 6, a 3, and a 1. So.
All right, I'll take it.
So yeah, not
Easy
only
wins.
do they sort of they seem they sort of look at each other and nod. Yeah, that seems doable. We've actually got a fair amount that we can provide, and it would be easy to manufacture more, especially with what we've got in this place.
Cool. All right.
We can provide all the proximity mines that you can rig up if we've got the time to do them.
If they come in at an odd angle, hopefully a good hit could actually leg 1 or 2 of the light mechs for sure. If not, knock them out completely. They'd step on it directly.
Callahan nods and says they have to be real close.
Yep. If nothing else, it might funnel them down, and he shows them on a map of the town. It might funnel them through here. I don't think they're willing to shell the town. I think the Baron wants the town as much as possible, which means I don't think his long-range mechs are going to just bombard the damn place. I also don't think he's going to let Hermione come in with her mech and just start infernoing the place.
Oh, did we lose somebody?
Yep, we
Yeah,
lost.
Pardon the cameras for a bit, everyone. I'm just going to leave them as they are, which will be messed up for a moment. Simi's going to be getting back on. Yep, here we go.
All right.
Yep, there it is.
And she, Miss Jenny, speaks up and says, "We've already made plans about the possibility of bombardment. The tunnels we've been mapping out in order to locate Finn's brother, well, they've been unsuccessful in that effort, but we have located a number of different new locations that have been excavated by, well, let's just say some of the more unsavory sorts that have passed through. They're unoccupied at the moment, and they'll be an excellent place for us to shelter the non-combatants.
Good call.
Oh, look, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Mhm.
Yeah. Good call. All right.
It's up. I'll leave it up to you what sort of forces we can leave to defend them. We can leave a handful of adults with small arms. It should be good enough unless they divert significant forces there. They won't be able to bring mechs down there. So
No.
I think it's likely they'll bypass it entirely unless someone gets information out. Who knows if there are more traitors among us. Callahan puffs out his mouth a bit. Huffs. Says, I don't think we need to worry about that. There is that fellow who was, something that was always seemed a bit off with him, and he was too close to the pirates. And, well, that other one, he was one of them, right? Probably made some sort of a deal. I don't think anyone else here is going to sink that low.
Someone walked him out of that brig.
Yeah, well, I think we can probably guess who it was. It's not like we had the best security in the place. I wish we'd had a camera on it.
As far as defending the shelters, lost one again. I think just some small arms with the adults down there, because frankly, if all they have to do is hold off not getting taken hostage, let's put it that way, it could be a lot worse.
Hey, you're back, I think.
I don't know what's going on.
Finn, as you're out and about, just sort of taking a look at things and...
She's trying to figure out if she can extend Charlie's sensor network, like extend her realm of influence. Because if we can get further sensors out, we can get more defenses set up a little further from the base, and just have a little bit more. So that was my train of thought.
Okay. As you're doing that, Charlie speaks up suddenly. Finn, I'm getting a message that is, well, it seems addressed to you.
Yeah.
Here it comes.
Yeah.
It's video and audio. I don't detect any signs of a computer virus threat.
No, it's ransom demands or what passes for them.
All right, I'll patch it through.
Please.
All right, so on your mech, there is suddenly a little holographic representation of the person on the other call, and you recognize this person, but not because you've ever met them before, but because you've seen his picture all over the place on posters and various other propaganda. You were looking at the image of the Baron himself.
Uh-huh. Right.
Okay. I have come through. Is this thing on? Finn. Is this Finn, I presume?
Yes.
Hello, Finn. I am the Baron. This is not a fake.
Shit.
You have gotten my attention. I understand that there have been some unfortunate misunderstandings between you and some of the people I've entrusted to looking after the good people of Medgar's Folly. I regret that it's come to a difficult political situation. You see, it's put me in a situation of, well, seeming vulnerable, and there are some very, very vicious people I need to keep in line. I need to do that with fear. Do you understand me, Finn?
What do you want?
Order. Law, order, peace. An end to this unfortunate and completely unnecessary conflict. I've made sure that's going to be taken care of. It's a certainty. I'm sure you've somehow noticed that there have been some forces. I've hired mercenaries, yes. Useful pets, much less expensive than risking your own materials, especially when they explode so brightly. Well, I am a busy man, and I'll cut to the chase here. Your little rebellion is coming to an end. That is a certainty. Whether or not you and your family survive, that is still a possible question that is still up in the air. And, well, you are in a position to act and make things go as smoothly as possible. Arrange for a surrender, and I'll offer a complete pardon to you. I'll need to find someone to scapegoat, of course, and put the blame on, but you can pick, or I can pick. We can settle it all, but you and your family need not be harmed. We'll smooth things over, and Medgar's Folly can run along just as it always has. Maybe you can be the next ham and cheese even. But, I can't make any promises just now. Or do what you can. If you can't persuade them, interject with your own mech on behalf of the mercenary forces. Prove your loyalty to me, and, you'll be rewarded. If you don't, however, well, you know, I see no harm in letting you have a brief conversation. And he sort of gestures, and there's a bit of a blur and change, and you see your brother on the hologram. Finn? Is that really you?
Yes.
He looks over to the side, says, "It looks fake. You can't trick me. This is fake." You can hear like a crackle on the side. Somebody must be talking to him. Kind of shakes his head, looks over. Okay, I guess. Hi. I'm supposed to talk to you now.
Everything's going to be fine.
Of course, yes. It's doing just great. I've been having a wonderful time.
I should have beat you more when you were younger. You're getting a little old for that now. You're getting real mouthy. Look.
I told you it was
Everything.
a fake.
Child. You're trying my patience.
And there's I guess like a hand on his shoulder, and then like another holographic blur, and you can see the Baron again. That's enough. I don't particularly care if he believes if you are real or not, but you know the truth of the situation. And when the time comes, you'll know what must be done. And the transmission ends. And I think we'll leave it at that for the session.
Yeah.
Ooh, all right. Everybody gets 4 experience points.
I had some thoughts during that conversation, and now I have to figure out which one is more Finn and which one is more me. I had some thoughts, and they were not very nice thoughts. Ooh,
all right.
We got some options.
Yeah.
All right, so we come to the end of the session here. Before we go into the post show, I do want to say that been planning a little bit. I don't plan too far ahead because you never know what the players are going to do, but I had some idea where this was going. And I think what we're going to do for the last session, which is going to be our next session, same time next week, is that will be the final battle for Medgar's Folly. The Mechwarrior Marauders, led by Hermione Gold, will come and attempt to exterminate the rebellion. And we just have a single lance of mechs and a few other advantages to defend the town against a fortified company of mechs with air support. And with some of the assistance and support from the town, though. So, I haven't really done any sort of in-game incentive for driving donations. So we're going to do that for the very last session. We're going to total up all the donations that have been made so far through the super chats and get a number from that. I don't know what that is off the top of my head. And then when we go into the next session, if you want to, let's see, what's the best way to do this? We'll have to do this on the screen. So as we get further donations, basically for every $10 in total donations, the players will get a bonus plot point that can be used for battlefield support. So your support of world builders through the fundraiser will essentially be turned into the support of the locals for the defenders of Medgar's Folly. So up until 10 plot points, then up until that point, it starts getting more expensive per plot point because I don't want to get things too silly. If someone drops a couple $100 to have 20 plot points to do like enough battlefield support to wipe out a lance just like that, and that seems a bit much. So, I mean, once maybe might be cool, but everything over the top. So we're going to say the first $100 will pay for up to 10 plot points. After that, it's going to be $50 per additional plot point, with no top end. So if somebody wants to drop a couple grand on making sure people get fed around the world, that's awesome, and you'll do awesome. Okay, but more likely than not, you'll be somewhere a little over the 10 mark. Maybe you'll get up to 12 or 13 or 14. We'll see. This hasn't been a huge fundraiser. We haven't done a lot of marketing. We're doing this for fun and trying to raise awareness and do what we can to help them out. But yeah, I think it would be really fun to see support for the fundraiser translate to the support of the town. And I'm going to add one more thing in here. Is I have a secret number in my mind. It's not a super high number, but if the total amount donated by we'll say about the halfway point of our last session is over that threshold, the town of Medgar's Folly, the people are true and loyal. But if we don't hit that number...
I don't like the but.
Uh-huh.
If we don't hit that number, there will be another betrayal from within the town at a bad time during the attack. So... we might have already hit that number. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't been keeping track of it. I don't think we've quite gotten up to it. It's not a huge number. It's still 3 digits. Okay. And it's not like really high up in the 3 digits. It's under 500. I'll say that much. But, I thought I'd add that extra little incentive in there. So yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind shilling for something that's going to help people eat. So
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and do that. So you've already set up some other things like battle armor support, maybe explosions with the demolitions in place. You've got the anti-aircraft systems. You've got the modified mining vehicles with the lasers, as well as just some loyal townsfolk of Medgar's Folly with some big for human size guns to help out with. So a little bit of infantry support maybe. Those you'll have to spend your own plot points for. But again, you'll have some bonus plot points based on the support of the people of the town and the people watching the show. So
Pardon me while I do some quick math to figure out how much I can drop on this after payday Friday.
Well,
I'll drop that money to feed people and give us plot points.
that's fair play. That's fair play, but
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
you're already putting the work in of being here, so it's. I'd really like to see it, you know, up to the people watching. But yeah, I'm not going to dissuade anyone from donating to World
I've got
Builders.
my kids going babysitting to bring in money for us to.
I'll pretend I didn't hear that, so we don't have to worry about child labor laws.
No.
Child
Well,
labor
Girl
laws.
Scouts gets away with it. Why not?
Oh man, do they ever? For real? That's funny.
All right, so
Well, that'll be fun.
Plot points have no calories. I'm just saying.
yeah, so here we are. Let me run down that force list again. I wrote this down a little while ago.
Oh God.
I wrote down the 2 aerospace fighters, the 6 Warrior H-7 attack helicopters, which are dangerous. They have I
Yes.
think an AC-5 each one of them. They're pretty maneuverable.
You say 6?
6, yes. The
6.
nice thing about them is if you shoot them with anything bigger than a pistol, they will go down. Then there's a whole light lance of a Stinger, a Wasp, and 2 Locusts. Not too scary. But I mean, you have 1 Locust.
Yeah.
Put that in
One
perspective.
Valkyrie now.
And that's their lightest lance. They also have a heavy lance with a rifleman, a warhammer, and 2 catapults.
Mhm.
And AC-2 on the H-7s. Sorry, the helicopters.
Thank you, Trevor.
Yes, thank you. And then there's a medium lance. That's the command lance. That's a Hunchback, a Blackjack, a Cicada, and then of course Hermione Gold's Shadowhawk.
I'm still pretty sure we're screwed.
The blazing saddle
If it was
herself.
If it were just that one lance, we would be in trouble. Like,
Frankly, yes.
It's a finale of a season,
fun.
perhaps even a campaign.
Yeah.
So yeah, it has to be big. No, I really, as a GM, I wanted to make sure to just really have that sort of hammer drop moment where like, so look at that list and go like, yeah, we're screwed.
We're up a creek without a paddle.
what you guys need to know is that John Texas Crow will rely on the power of his mullet to get us out of this. He's gonna. he might have to try to seduce his evil girlfriend with the power of his mullet and see how that works. So.
Well, anything can happen. But yeah,
It's gonna be one hell of a social roll.
Putting everything into that maximum now.
it'll be interesting to see how things go. I've been having a lot of fun with this campaign. Been enjoying the system a lot. What are some of the things that you all have liked the most about Mechwarrior Destiny so far? Anyone want to start?
I'll start by just saying having been a BattleTech fan since I was a 8th grader, it's just fun. It's just fun to live in the universe, and it's just fun to to do that. And I also love the way that this system gives you that freedom to try stuff that that a lot of it's well you can try some crazy stuff that you just can't try in other game systems, and I'm just enjoying it. I'm having a great time.
Cool. Yeah, me too. How about you, Ava? You being from the other side, this is your first really dipping your toes into the BattleTech universe at all,
Oh,
if
yeah.
I understand right.
Yeah, no, first time at all. I never even really got into like the mech animes. This is my first real experience of anything really mech. And I love it. I mean, I'm having so much fun with this, and like it was a system that I kind of knew the base system already because I'd played a little bit of Shadowrun Anarchy, and so I kind of knew the base queue system and whatnot. And so coming into this, I mean, it's a real simple system to pick up, and it's just a lot of fun.
I brought you on. I asked you to join the show in part because you're a really great player with these narrative systems. I really enjoy playing Anarchy with you, and you always come up with just really cool ideas and are fun to play with on that. So I knew you'd have fun with this, and I also love bringing someone into a world that has like a big, deep setting that knows nothing about it going in, to sort of get that fresh perspective and see what that brings in to the ideas where you might not otherwise have that for those of us who are just fairly well baked in the lore of BattleTech. So it's been great to have you on for those reasons and others. Mainly just because I like playing with
I've
you,
always been big on, like, my favorite part of any tabletop role-playing game has always been the role-playing. So, like, that's the side I come from. So I'm like, I get deep into my characters, and even though it took me a while to really warm up to Finn and figure out who she was, but yeah. So that's the angle I come from, is like, I am this character. What does she do? Well, she fights with her brother in the middle of a ransom call with Baron.
Yep. Yeah.
Because siblings.
Yeah, Finn's been a lot of fun. We haven't gotten enough screen time with a brother, I think, but I wish we'd had the chance to set that up a bit more. But yeah, that's been a bit of a challenge, the experiment of mine to make this kind of a 2-hour stream, which is pretty short for most role-playing actual play streams. Normally they're like 4 hours. I've gone down to 3 for a lot of things, but I just really wanted to see what we could do with a shorter, tighter amount of time. And I think the system allows us to play that pretty well, though there have been, I think, about half our sessions we've gone over a bit because, well, we just need a little bit more time. Trav, how about you? What have you liked about the game so far?
For this game, the cast, and that's everybody, has been the best part of this.
We love you too.
In terms of
it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it has. In terms of Mechwarrior itself, Mechwarrior's always been, for the BattleTech universe, the divergent part of it. I mean, BattleTech, of course, focuses on the mech combat. Maybe you add in, a couple of aerospace passes or some artillery, maybe some vehicles. You get into more of that with the old Mech Commander game, for those of you who remember that. But for the most part, you don't get to play around with things that aren't pilots. And this Mechwarrior game, I think more so than any of the prior iterations even, lends you that ability to play people in the universe of the inner sphere who aren't climbing into a cockpit, but are still contributing to a narrative that is gripping. This is still a galaxy at war. No matter what else is going on, that's the common theme of BattleTech. So the system supports doing that very well.
Yeah, I think so. I think that would be my, I guess one of my favorite things about the system so far is it seems to be able to balance the idea of big stompy robots with other things going on.
Yeah.
And I like that. That's something that I didn't really get a good feel for with the other editions of Mechwarrior that I've tried playing. It just sort of seemed very disconnected, or there's kind of an odd translation from when you're doing the mech stuff and when you're not doing the mech stuff.
Yes.
And when you were, it would just be all mech stuff. This is something where I could see mech. Yeah, we have mech actions going on concurrently with other actions. Now, in this particular campaign, we decided to go with all mech warriors, just probably to keep things simple, right? And it's fun. I just tried out your all mech warriors. We didn't break too far from that, but yeah, you've all had the ability to do other things that influence the story that had nothing to do with piloting and shooting a mech. Your piloting and gunnery stats are not the most important things about you.
Yeah, that's right.
Talking about the system and other ways it could be used, like, I don't know if it's because I've watched too many movies that do similar stuff like this, but I just had an idea in my head of, like, a possible, like, side thing for this is Finn putting together a group of individuals from the town to sneak in to get her brother out just in case shit goes sideways. And so you can do that with this system. You could have like that clandestine, they don't even have to have a mech.
Yep.
Yeah, I
like, here, this is going on in the sidelines. I'm like, no, it's not. Well, that's my canon now.
So let's do the flip side and maybe do a bit of a criticism then, or I wish this was a different thing, or maybe an idea for something you might do differently about the system or game. I think I'm going to start and, well, maybe, and I'm going to think about it for a minute, if someone else has something.
I've got something right off the top of my head that I think is it's such a natural fit for this system, but it's not explicitly called out, is the flashbacks. We borrowed that from Blades in the Dark. Yeah. It's it's an easy system to do anytime you've got that ability for, to spend the plot point or whatever you call it. That narrative control to just rewind a bit and cut to, hey, this happened 3 days ago, and it sets it up for now. It seems such a natural fit for this system. I'm surprised it wasn't explicitly called out as a use for plot points.
That was actually gonna be my main idea. I was trying to think of something else though, but that's just it. I wish the flashback system was just a codified spend a plot point to do this, and you can do your narrations out of linear time, as long as everything still makes sense and you're not, what's the word I'm looking for? My vocabulary is failing me, I guess. But
not reaching for too much at once, maybe.
You're contradicting what's already been defined.
Yeah, there you go.
No
paradox.
And really, like, in the BattleTech fiction, in the when you read the BattleTech books, it's what it's always about. The commander of the good guys always has that ace up his or her sleeve. There's always that edge that they have that the other guy doesn't know about. And the reader is always surprised when that last card falls. And that's just such a staple of the BattleTech writing that you're right. It makes so much sense for that to go right into the mechanics of this game, because it's like that's how the BattleTech writers write the universe.
Yeah, it's a good point. I feel like the system feels like how a BattleTech novel reads. I guess, or could. It does in this situation, I think. So
you get that with more narrative systems. Like that's the whole point of the narrative system. The narrative driven. It's narrative first.
I'm going to have Trevor interject here from the chat, saying that Destiny definitely does a better job of tying all the disparate elements of a unit together. Clifton does absolutely nail that. Thank you. A Time of War tried to do that, but once someone was a Mechwarrior, shit went sideways fast. That was the edition of Mechwarrior I never actually played. I just read a little bit about. So thanks for the insight on that. I guess... for me, I guess the other criticism that I have for the game is when it comes to personal combat, it seems like it really bogs down. Because
you're talking about not mech scale, but like individuals.
Yeah, like if you take the armor away, then it's pretty. I think if you were to take the armor away, or maybe just made the armor just do its secondary effect, where it either reduces 1 point of damage from ballistic or energy attacks depending on which kind of armor it is, but otherwise then it goes to your condition monitor, then it seems more like that quick and deadly combat that would feel much more like like the personal combat in a BattleTech novel. The way it is now, you've got a big chunk of points, like 8 or 9 or 10, I forget exactly, points from your personal armor. and then the weapons do 3 or 4 points of damage each. You need to hit somebody like 3 times before they even notice they've been shot. Well, that's an exaggeration, but they'll definitely notice. But then when you actually start taking 3 points of damage to your condition track, like that's half your health for most people. So yeah, I feel like if I were to do this again, if I were to get involve a lot of personal level combat, or infantry level combat, I would probably make it so the armor just takes 1 or 2 points off of certain types of damage, and then it goes through, and it really sucks to get shot. That's probably how I would do it instead. But
That seems like it would fit better, yeah.
I do like how John Texas Crow gave me the out by lasering the beer keg.
Well, that's exactly why. That's exactly why I did that, because I kind of did the math and thought, man, we're going to be here all night trying to have one simple shootout. So let's, and which kind of goes against the narrative feel of the game. You do expect mech combat to be a bit of a slog, although this is by far, in my opinion, the best. The fastest moving mech combat that we've had in BattleTech, period.
Yeah, I think they really got the mech combat right. It works so well in the system, and it feels a lot like BattleTech without being anywhere near as complex. Letting you sort of do those faster rules light resolutions of things. I mean, it's even more rules light than Alpha Strike, which is already really strips a lot of the rules down for BattleTech to make it faster.
Right.
But it works so well, even though it's so simplified. I think that's really a strength of the queue system and the people who've adapted it, because the queue system was adapted so well for Shatter and Anarchy, so you can have a very, very simplified rule system that just feels so much like Shadowrun still, and they really knocked it out of the park in the same way for Mechwarrior Destiny. I think it's been a really, really good system. I had high hopes for it because I've loved the queue system in every form I played it in. So, but also I love BattleTech, and it's the idea of being able to do this stuff and the storytelling with BattleTech in a way that you haven't really been able to approach before. I'm really happy with the game system. So, yeah, with a few things aside, I can think of little tweaks that make them work just fine for me. So, my general feeling is that the pros of Mechwarrior Destiny far outweigh any of the rough spots. Eva, did you have any particular insights or criticisms of the system that you wish were done differently, or something
Is
that
Ava frozen in a yawn?
Oh yeah, it froze right when she was started yawning. Oh, the longest yawn.
I don't really have any criticisms. No. It really feels like it was built for this game, and it does what it was built for rather well, I think.
That's a good way of saying it.
Yeah, Trevor's said in the chat, looking forward to trying a mixed rule campaign. I'm looking forward to trying that as well. I'd love to see someone working on espionage and or diplomacy while somebody else is like piloting a ship, and the other person might be doing piloting a mech at the same time, all in some sort of combined or related or coordinated effort. Or even doing storytelling where you've got people on different sides of a conflict that might also interact with each other in maybe a diplomacy way, like some like political house level intrigue stuff would be fun to play. But
I could see doing that with a rotating cast. Like, call it a show kind of like this, 3 or 4 players at a time and a GM, and you go back and forth week by week between maybe Davian on one side and Merrick on the other, or Kurta on the other, and just the events of one week affect the events of the next week, and back and forth, playing that chess game. It's happening asymmetrically, maybe up until right until the end, and then you have everybody together dealing with each other in real time, as events come to the climax.
Yeah, kind of liking the sound of this. Good ideas.
Sounds like a lot of bookkeeping.
Ooh.
It does.
It does. It would require a lot of notes. Someone would be keeping a wiki, but can you imagine the story
that
you
would be
could get out of
great.
that?
Yeah.
You
No,
know,
that would
the
be-
acting, really, just at that point, it's acting.
That could be a lot of fun. I think we'll wrap things up. So we can get ready for the next session in 1 week. So 1 week from today will be the very last episode of our series. Maybe just a season. We'll see. We haven't committed to anything beyond this 6 to 8, which has become 8-episode run. I think it's likely we'll want to do this again at some point. So let us know what you think. Should we do another season of this? Should we do a different campaign? Should we work on some sort of epic political level conflict, such as Trav laid out? Share some ideas. Stop by the Shadowcasters Network Discord server. Go to shadowcasters.network. That's our website. There's an invite link there. Again, that's shadowcasters.network. It'd probably be a good idea for me to post a link in the chat here. Let me do that. Well, that didn't show up as a link, but if you copy and paste that into your browser, it'll get you there. Or just search up Shadowcasters Network. We're there. There's a Discord server for people to engage with us. We do other stuff besides this show. Currently, we do a weekly sort of a variety show about gaming that we call Weekly Game Night. It's a lot of fun. We chop that up into smaller chunks, some of which go out as separate YouTube videos over the week. But it's a lot of fun to be there live, especially to be there for the stupid game, which is really the main point. I'm not going to go into much detail on that because you just got to be there to experience it. Because, last time when I was in there, I represented one of our patrons in the stupid game. He had a battle mech made of ice that was from the water of the reflecting pool next to the Washington Monument. He formed a mech out of it that had a large spear made of frozen beer and a mace made from his sentient chest hair.
Was with you till the end.
That's a thing. That is a thing.
That is a thing that happened. Yes, and he did not win. He was defeated by the Washington Monument that was on its way to then take on the Lincoln Monument. It was ultimately defeated by the champagne toast hand cream. This was the most recent round of the stupid game. So yes,
And if any
it's
of that
exciting.
makes sense to you, you should join them for the stupid.
No, that's not what you should say. No, that is not going to make sense to anybody.
How great. That's awesome.
You just want to be there for it, okay? You just want to be there for it. Every Sunday evening, same time as this show, 8 to 10 Central, 9 to 11 Eastern. But yeah, with that, we'll be back next week. And see you then for the final battle to determine the fate of Finn, Ian Warden, John Texas Crow, and Medgar's Folly.
Wish us luck.
Your wallet's out.
We're going to need it.